We've left off with new customization and gameplay additions that make it a completely different game from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. If you're just delving into this series, I strongly suggest you start with episode 1 so you can see how we've gotten to this point. The new direction, the roster, the new mechanics and progressive features are things you should know beforehand. So, what comes next? Well, there is something I need to address before I can share this next part. As you saw from the recent Nintendo Direct, there will be a new Xenoblade Chronicles game, titled Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And this forces me to do something I don't want to do, which is replace a character on this roster. So this means Rex won't be on the roster, Pyra is not making a return at all, and instead we have a new protagonist called Noah. I really wanted a character that works like Noob Saibot from Mortal Kombat 11. All I can do now is just hope that Noah might offer something similar, but I can't just sit here and wait until we get closer to his game's release. I need to make a decision now, and keeping Rex and Pyra clearly would make the roster less evergreen. So we are cutting Rex and Pyra, and in their place is Noah. I'm sure people are curious as to what stages there will be and how many. But before that, I feel like we need to go over some of the main game modes. Regular battles return, in which you can customize your experience by time, stocks, items and most of the other settings that have been present in the previous game. Stamina mode will be revamped. Rather than running on stocks, stamina mode will adopt the traditional fighting game norm, where once a player reaches 0, the other player wins the fight and the match resets. Games can be played until a player wins a number of fights. When it comes to 3 or more players, the last player standing will win the point. Though if you prefer to play classic stamina mode, you can do that by changing a setting. Squad Strike will also make its return and will feature a more streamlined experience. All the rules will also be there. You can also choose as many characters you prefer, with a maximum of 7. Tournament is also back, but instead of a maximum of 32 players, you can double that to 64. So what is new? I was really interested in coin battles coming back, however, I feel like it hasn't been a very popular mode and wouldn't be if it made a return. There is something similar, though, which I call damage mode. To summarize damage mode up simply, the player that does the most damage or reaches a certain damage milestone wins. KOs don't matter, deaths don't matter, all that matters is staying on the stage and attacking players at the most opportune times. If you get KO'd, however, it will take 5 seconds to spawn, meant to be a detriment as you wait, while other players are still fighting and increasing their score. Damage mode can only work with 4 or more players. Damage mode can be timed in a number of minutes, in which the player with the most damage dealt wins. Or, theirs will be a limit, like 1000% or 1500%, and the first player to reach that mark wins. It's something simple, but it's also pretty different, and I can see it as a way for more competitive players to try a 4-player free-for-all mode. In terms of offline multiplayer modes, that's pretty much all I have to share. For modes that you might find in Sakurai's infamous games and more category, you'll need to wait a little long to find out what I would have in store. Just like with the characters, not every stage is going to come back. Now my priority was that each character has their own stage, and I can't believe that despite all these stages that certain characters like Incineroar or Bowser didn't have stages that were their own little habitats, so to speak. I am already under the impression that since all these stages already modernized, that there won't be much effort to bring most of them back, but at the same time, having new stages is important so that the game continues to feel new and evolve, rather have all iterations of Smash Bros. Have nothing but classic stages. So, let's describe all the new stages as well as what went into these decisions. So here we go. Link. This stage will be a location from the sequel to The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Unfortunately, I will need to come back to this at a later date. Because of course, I can't describe what I don't know. Samus, Emmy Zone from Metroid Dread. This will be a unique Emmy Zone featuring a black and white color palette, in which an Emmy robot appears on occasion. These robots cannot be eliminated, like they can be in Metroid Dread, but rest assured that stage hazards will disable them. Yoshi, Rail Yard Run from Yoshi's Crafted World. This is the first stage of the game featuring the town section. The red-wheeled train will move around the map, and players can hit it from behind to make it go faster. Kirby, Waddle Dee Town from Kirby and the Forgotten Land. This will be a pretty wide stage like Distant Planet, where you can walk to other areas like the fishing hole and on top of the theater. Waddle Dees can also wander around, allowing you to knock them into other opponents for damage. Luigi, Garden Suites from Luigi's Mansion 3. In the little time that I have played the game, this area in particular stood out the most to me. Fighters fight on an elevator platform going up or down. You'll come across ghosts in the background and even come across notable ones like Dr. Potter. Bowser, World Bowser from Super Mario 3D World. I chose between this and Neo Bowser City and decided on World Bowser because it's more similar to a typical Bowser's Castle stage. At night, the background is lit up colorfully. Like any Mario stage, there will be blocks for fighters to break and the occasional enemy that interferes. Daisy, N64 Rainbow Road from Mario Kart 8. This is honestly one of the best rainbow roads given the atmosphere. Primarily, you'd be fighting on the flying train, as if flies players from section to section, while a race is taking place. Like other racing tracks, karts have a chance to damage the players. I know this seems like a strange choice for Daisy, but I did not really want the other Mario characters to have this stage in place of the other Mario stages. Wario, the Golden Pyramid from Wario Land 4. This takes place outside the entrance of the pyramid. I thought about another WarioWare stage, but I did not want to do one that pretended to be a series of mini-games. Snake, Diamond Dogs from Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Not many iconic locations in the latest mainline MGS game, but the Diamond Dogs mother base is something I can take inspiration from. With multiple floors, stairs and decks, this can make for a creative layout for a stage with a unique industrial theme to it. Pokémon Trainer. Pokémon Stadium 3. This will be an update to the typical Pokémon Stadium stage where it transforms periodically. I know we have the Gallows Pokémon League stage, but stay tuned to find out what happens to that one. Pokémon Stadium 3 will transition into Rock, Fairy, and Ice-type stages featuring several Pokémon of their respective types. Diddy Kong, Punch Bowl from Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. This is a long iceberg where the floor is slippery and you can slide off the ledge with physics. Bash Master and other enemies will make camera appearances, with the Bash Master himself striking the platform with his hammer to cause players to fall into the punch. Sonic Frontiers is a game that is coming out in 2022, and while we don't have more details on this game, all I know is that he's in need of a new stage. I will revisit this part another time. Lucario, Obsidian Field Lands from Pokémon Legends Arceus. I chose this setting for two reasons. 1. The scenery is beautiful with that unique tint of lavender. The second reason is that there are many recognizable Pokémon in this area that can make for suitable cameos, such as Snorlax, Abra, and Heracross. The stage itself takes place on a raised wooden platform that's suitable for Pokémon battles. Little Mac, Classic Boxing Ring. As much as people might love the boxing ring, Little Mac would get an updated stage that doesn't feature a giant screen. The venue will be much smaller in comparison to make it more nostalgic and charming. In place of the screen, banners will be displayed from the rafters featuring the fighters in battle. You also might see a blimp featuring one of many fictional advertisements, like you find in the Mario Kart series. Pac-Man stage. The old Pac-Man stage from the 3DS game will return, but there will be a twist. That twist is that the background will change to feature different versions of Pac-Man that come with their own styles and color palettes. Like Ms. Pac-Man, Pac-Man Championship Edition. Bowser Jr., Lake Lapcat from Super Mario 3D World. The normal run-through of this stage is that you're on a boat that cruises past various locations across the map. Plessy will even swim about to either support or hurt players. Inkling, Sockeye Station from Splatoon 3. You fight on a structure consisting of multiple layers, with the stage overlooking the cove. Salmonids will appear and spray black ink, giving disadvantages to players, such as slower movement. Isabelle, Island Tour from Animal Crossing New Horizons. I like Tortimer's Island, but I feel like it needs a new coat of paint, so to speak. Island Tour will consist of a randomly generated island featuring the house of a random villager and a dock, where the Dodo Airlines plan is parked in the foreground. The plane will arrive and take off periodically. The stage will also have Gulliver appearing in a sailboat. Waluigi, Space Land from Mario Party Superstars. Fighters fight on the middle countdown pad. Much like Spiral Mountain, the pad will rotate, revealing the world in a 360-degree panorama. The Bowser laser goes off when the countdown reaches 0. Paper Mario, the tram from Paper Mario, the Origami King. I had a tough decision on which stage to go with for this character, so I ultimately decided on fights taking place on top of a longer version of this tram. So as it travels, players will fight on the roof as scenery from Autumn Mountain, Overlook Mountain and Overlook Mountain. Paper Paratroopers and Paragoombas will make appearances on this stage. Tom Nook, Museum. This stage will consist of a fusion among Animal Crossing's 3 museum exhibits that display fossils, bugs and fish. The stage consists of 2 long platforms, a catwalk on top of a deck that overlooks the museum floor which randomly generates different fossils, fish tanks and bug habitats. A crane can also carry a fossil or a crate that players can break that contains harmful insects like bees or fish. Pokémon. For a new Pokémon character, there should be a new stage to match. That's all I can share for now. Medusa, Reaper Fortress from Kid Icarus Uprising. I am aware that Pit fought Medusa at Underworld Castle, but it's a very dreary looking stage for a fighting game. Instead, Reaper Fortress is a prettier option. This is a touring stage where a flying platform makes a few stops inside and outside the fortress. Along the way, Reapers will appear. Fire Emblem. When a new game is announced, we can know for certain what kinds of stages can be suitable for a new Fire Emblem character. Noah. Self-explanatory. New IP. Self-explanatory. Fighter Hayabusa. The stage is simply called Pro Wrestling Venue. It will pretty much be an updated boxing ring. The large screen will be in the background, but it will feature a big versus screen. The screen will also show the battle from a different camera angle, whether it be from a hard camera, an overhead camera that glides, one of the on-foot cameramen in the foreground of background. And wouldn't you know it, Pro Wrestling for NES also features a cameraman. Ryu Hayabusa, Sky City Tokyo, from both Ninja Gaiden 2 and Dead or Alive 5. I only played the demo of Ninja Gaiden 2 on Xbox 360 when I was a teen and was blown away by the environment. It has a fluid mix of both new and old architectural elements. The camera will peer out at a cityscape. The giant Buddha statue makes a cameo appearance. Ryu. This was a tough call, but I didn't want to have 2 rooftop stages that look the same, so Street Fighter's Ryu will be getting a new stage as well. And I have picked Temple Hideout from Street Fighter V. While not Ryu's stage, it's another iconic location in the world of Street Fighter, where you battle M. Bison in arcade mode. Unfortunately for competitive players, this would be a walkout stage. Leon, the village from Resident Evil 4. Seeing that Capcom could be remaking Resident Evil 4, all the better. So I'd like this setting to take the spirit of Hyrule Castle from the very first Super Smash Bros. Game, being that you'd be on a rooftop and overlook the rest of the village. On occasion, zombies will climb up on the roof, but they won't be able to scale the platforms when going up the tower. Lara, Tomb Raider. This will be a medley of different areas throughout the Tomb Raider franchise. The first reason being is that there's no real locations that stand out from the others. The second reason is that it would express the exploration aspect of the series and give a demonstration of how well certain characters could traverse through it. Ghana, a picturesque safari environment from Tomb Raider legend that can serve as the stage's central area, replete with platforms and walls. The first caves from Tomb Raider 1 and Anniversary, featuring snowy elements and ledges. Angkor Wat from Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation. An underground-like jungle with sketchy terrain and traps. Yamatai, a crucial setting from the 2013 game with a gorgeous cove. Palace Midas, from Tomb Raider 1 and Anniversary, featuring a hand that turns you into gold. Howl of the Monkey Gods. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. The Hall of Seasons from Tomb Raider, Angel of Darkness. While that's unanimously the worst Tomb Raider game in the series, the stage definitely rounds out the variety with a secret passage underneath the Louvre. Finally, a treasure room that alludes to Croft Manor from no particular game. For the Omega version of the stage, the Ghana setting will be used. Scorpion, the Pit. This battle takes place on a long cement bridge. You cannot walk out of bounds. Parts of the bridge will collapse when they face enough impact, allowing you to smash your opponents to their doom below. You'll find another battle taking place off in the distance. The Omega form of this stage will actually turn it into the version found in Mortal Kombat, Deception. Mai Brawler, Sport and Highway from Ring Fit Adventure. Another level that moves, and I know there are already plenty of new ones, but for a game that require movement, it rewards you with many breathtaking looking environments as a result. Many stages are pretty samey, whether they have nature or castle themes, but Sport and Highway has a rather rocky and rugged theme that you don't see often in Smash Bros. Stages, with water giving that a great balance. Me Sword Fighter. Miitopia. This will be the only horizontal scrolling level. This stage traverses through various areas of the Miitopia Switch game, including Wayward Woods, Karkatan, and Arid Frontier. Like similar stages before it, the stage consists of various platforms to jump on, as well as different buildings like hotels and shops. Miis and enemies will also occasionally be fighting in the background. For the rest of the roster, they'll be getting classic stages. Here's what that will be like. Mario. New Donk City. Donkey Kong. Congo Falls. Fox. Corneria. Pikachu. Saffron City. Ness. Onett. Captain Falcon. Big Blue. Peach. Princess Peach's Castle. Ice Climbers. Summit. Sheik. Gerudo Valley. Zelda. Great Plateau Tower. Marth. Castle Siege. Ganondorf. Temple. Mutwo. Nova Pokémon League. Meta Knight. Halberd. Pit. Skyworld. King DDD. Fountain of Dreams. Alimer. Garden of Hope. Rob. Balloon Fight. Toon Link. Pirate Ship. Wolf. Lilac Cruise. Villager. Town and City. Mega Man. Wily Castle. Shulk. Gore Plains. Cloud. Midgar. Ridley. Norfair. Simon. Dracula's Castle. King K. Rool. Jungle Japes. Hero. Yggdrasil's Altar. Terry. King of Fighters Stadium. Steve. Minecraft World. Kazuya. Mishima Dojo. Impa. Bridge of Elden. Spring Man. Spring Stadium. Dark Samus. Frigate Orpheon. And Me Gunner. Woohoo Island. So now let's talk about Battlefield and Final Destination. Battlefield is going against the grain this time around. It will be the first Battlefield iteration to take place under a roof. So what would that be like? Well, I figured Battlefield would be inside of a huge construct. A grandiose setting where all the environments are lined up and bordered behind glass walls, like dioramas. Holographic objects like pages, birds, and even entire worlds will pan across the screen to simulate a traditional battlefield, despite being ironically more science fiction-like. Now, what about Final Destination? I think the spacey gimmick has been overdone, and I feel that the next version should be more abstract. So what do I mean? Using the use of colors and shapes to help move the stage along. Think of colorful particles, traversing slopey hills or stormy water, being caught in a war of fireworks, and watching as the world changes color in front of you. Yes, let's try not to give anybody a seizure at the same time. Now all these stages at this point will have flat and tri-platform variations. However, there is a selection of stages that are in, but only as a part of these forms, not their original forms. Why? Because it's a way to add more stages, so to speak, without trying to add all the stages. So these are more like backgrounds than unique stages. To access these stages, simply choose the Battlefield or Final Destination stage and select the stage you want from a scrolling list. There will be 20, and here they are. Mushroom Kingdom. Luigi's Mansion. Congo Jungle. Spirit Trains. Brinstar. Yoshi's Story. Green Greens. The Great Cave Offensive. Kalo's Pokémon League. Fourside. Magicant. Flat Zone X. Arena Pharaoh. WarioWare Inc. Distant Planet. Tomodachi Life. Cloud Sea of Alrest. Moray Towers. Green Hill Zone. And Shadow Moses Island. So yeah, up to this point, that would be all the traditional stages, and I don't plan to bring any more back. The silver lining, however, is that the 20 stages I just named will have additional uses, so stay tuned for what I intend to do with them. But before we wrap up here, let's take a look at the items. In Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, there were not that many clever items. I am not going to take much time to explain which items I would cut and why. Just know that the items I would remove are because they're not all that useful or formidable. I do have a list of new items. Peach's Cake. This heals 50% damage, but there's a small chance that you might get hurt from an explosion 10 to 30 seconds afterwards. Fan. This item replaces the Gust Bellows. It pushes opponents back when holding A. It can also be directed upwards. RAMBI. Mount RAMBI to perform a charge attack. Miss the attack, and he will run off the stage. Attacking an unmounted RAMBI results in knockback. RAMBI comes in his own special crate, which is why he isn't considered an assist trophy. Hiding barrel. This is carried like an ordinary barrel, but it's like a shield. It endures a substantial amount of damage until it breaks. Blast ball. It's like a soccer ball, except it's larger, travels shorter, and deals less power. Blast ball. Works like a soccer ball, but it's slower and travels shorter, but is more accurate. Beam rod. A rod that fired a short-range electrical charge like how it works in the Kirby series. Demon launcher. This projectile weapon fires 3 missiles that home in on opponents but travel slowly. Frying pan. A battering weapon, but when doing smash attacks, projectiles can be reflected in a straight path. Rescue. Using the item on the ground marks the location. Pressing up B will automatically teleport the player to that spot. Vertical gun. This gun fires energy shots in an arc. Great for reaching around obstacles and within drop zones. Suction bomb. Sticks to a surface after being thrown. It explodes after a few seconds, leaving a patch of ink on the field of play. Block dropper gauntlet. Summons heavy blocks that drop overhead. The blocks can be used for defense and platforming afterwards. HOURGLASS. Touch the HOURGLASS to freeze opponents, even when in mid-air. One attack wears the effect off. Spear. A projectile attack. Throw the spear at a wall, and it can be used as a platform. Kung Lao's hat. Replaces the player's running attack with a spin attack. The hat can also be thrown like a buzzsaw for multiple hits. Lucky ticket. It works like the special flag, but the player has a chance to win another item. A new change to items is that there will be a rare form of weapon that appears inside of a large, steel crate. Noticeably larger than wooden crates. It's uncertain how many hit or how much damage you'll need to break the crate open, but once it opens, a very powerful weapon comes out. The possible items you can get from a steel crate include the hammer, a heart container, a special flag, a superstar, daybreak, dragoon, demon launcher, and RAMBI. Unlike previous Smash Bros. Games, you don't have to collect pieces of items, instead they are automatically whole. Assist trophies will also be updated. Again, I'm not going to explain why I'd remove all of these. There are different reasons for each of them, as you can tell. The new assist trophies are as follows. Dragadon. Breathes flames that fall onto the stage one at a time. Kaboom. A gremlin in a TNT barrel. Explodes when touches an opponent. Revolley. Saves the user from touching a blast zone. Adeline. Makes 3 Kirby-related items appear. Crazy Red. Makes a rare collectible appear if the user KOs an opponent in the time he is present. STARMAN. Pro Wrestling. Does a number of Lucha Libre attacks. Mr. Sandman. He essentially replaces Guile. When you get near him, he performs a hook punch. Lola Pop. She attacks opponents with special clapback arms that can also deflect projectiles. Ray MK3. He still return after being absent from the game since Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Moogle. Heals the user, but only at a random point during his dance. Rabbids. Fires plungers at opponents from a first-person perspective. Wesker. Wesker does the Phantom Dance move that he does from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Chun-Li. Does a few of her signature moves. Sonya Blade. See Chun-Li. Pokémon. Unfortunately, I don't have a list of which Pokémon I would include or remove. I have not played a Pokémon game since Pokémon X and Y on the 3DS. I do find it important to include a bunch of new Pokémon, but this current offering looks like a grab bag of different Pokémon that rather fit a mechanical niche than have an emphasis on popularity. So wow. That was a lot that we have covered in part 3. And there is still a lot of ground to cover for the next 2 parts. I hope you continue to stay tuned for more.